you go on dating with someone, you don't just like talk about like superficial stuff, right? I mean, you do that at the very beginning. Then if you want to find someone who's like suitable with you, you want to know what their thoughts are, financial planning, how they allocate their budgets. Like, I mean, like this is like probably too serious, but
Are we on a date right now?
If you want to like find a matching person, you want to know their values, finance, or their life. So you know if that person is the person that you can walk down the aisle and raise a family with, right?
You're right. That's how we met. We were like, hey, what are you investing in? You know, like, we're just like, yeah, randomly going on about some stuff.
Not just like you hitting on me at the grocery.
Frances, don't tell my secret.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.Hello,
大家好，欢迎各位再度来到 NG 英文，我是 Angela.
We have a great episode for you today with my good friend Frances, who's known around the professional and Taiwanese community as Frances Chen.
是的，今天我们邀请到了从加州柏克莱大学毕业的高材生财经小姐姐 Frances 到节目上来跟大家分享她的故事。
My guest today is Taiwanese. However, she has lived and worked all over the world. She is a banking professional, now working in tech. She is a YouTuber, a personal finance educator, a lifelong learner, and so much more.So everyone, please welcome my new friend, Frances.
Hello everyone, I'm Frances. Thanks for having me here, John.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Frances. So glad we finally could find the time. You're just so busy, you know?
Yeah, you are so busy too. Saw your crazy schedules walking into your room.
You know, we both are trying to do so many fun things, right?
Right.And
I'm so glad you're here on NG Ingwen because you are doing awesome things in the world of personal finance, helping Mandarin speakers understand how to kind of take control of their money.
Right.
And I just love that and something that's very important to me. So I was hoping, could you give our audience here a little introduction? Who is the woman, the myth, the legend?
Yeah, the legendary woman.
The legendary woman. Very true.
Yeah. So I graduated from UC Berkeley. Actually, I was on the pre-med biology field.
At Berkeley?
At Berkeley.
Wait, so that's why you're like giving me...
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yes, I graduated from UC Berkeley. And then
now I take online classes at Berkeley.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you study a very cool program, UC Berkeley. Crypto market, yes. Okay, sorry. So I graduated from UC Berkeley and then did my master degrees from NYU and Duke. So at Duke, I studied in finance and then was recruited by Citigroup in New York. So my first job was in New York, working in the equity research department at Citi. So basically, we focus on healthcare sectors, biotechnology sectors, like the large pharmas like Eli Lilly, Pfizer.And then the biotech mid-cap companies like Alchemies, Jazz Pharmaceuticals. So those were like very interesting experience for me and sort of like help me now with my career going forward.
I love that. Yeah, and so cool. You got recruited. Top of the food chain, guys.
I was lucky.
You're very humble. I think it's so wonderful to have you in here to talk about some things because, yeah, you worked with Citigroup and now you're back in Taiwan, though. And your work really, in my mind, I would love if we could focus today, is kind of on YouTube and not unofficial work.But YouTube is a big part of your life because you felt you really wanted to help the everyday person understand finance better. Is that right?
Right, exactly. So basically, I'm actually in the technology, technology company right now, in their supply chain business. So after moving back to Taiwan, I actually worked for a VC company and also sort of into equity sales. So still in the finance industry.And then went into tech. So that's where I'm working right now. So like, I think the reason why I wanted to start my podcast or my show was because throughout all my experiences, I got to know I mean, like doing my own personal investments because when I gained my experience at New York Citigroup, I know like how to do like in-depth analysis, looking through the companies, the pharmaceuticals companies, like looking into their financial statements and identify what are the good targets to invest in. And then so after I left finance, working for technology, I got to understand what are the technology trends, what's happening, what are the cutting edge technology, and then like which I guess components are like important in the sector, right? So then that's why I think I can start to do my own investments now. So I put my money into equity markets in Taiwan. So like a lot of like technology Taiwanese stocks, I started to invest in those. And then I feel like when I have these experience, I can help my friends or like my peers on some of the basic knowledge on finance. So my show, it's called Miss Finance 财经小姐姐. It's focused on teaching Taiwanese people. So our audience would be, TA would be Taiwanese, how to invest in US stocks. So finance basics, like where to invest in US stocks, how do we invest in US stocks, and what are the major stock exchanges in the States, like the S&P 500, Dow Jones industry indexes, and then there's also NASDAQ. Like these are the technology companies, right? And then because like a lot of like information that you see online, if you want to invest US stocks from Taiwan, they're all in English, right? So like when I do the show, I would walk through the details, like if you go onto international online trading platforms, what are the keywords to look for, and what are where to find the best brokers that's suitable for you, and then what are the tools or resources like websites that you can go on, and these are all in English, right? So we will walk through like the translation, and then for example, and other things like when you look into research reports, like for companies, there's like investment ratings, outperform, outweighed, there's accumulate. What does that mean in Chinese? We will translate that into Chinese, right? So these are all like very helpful like tips to let the general public, our friends, know about if they have like some interest in investing in overseas companies.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And it's so great because like you said, if people are curious or they want to just begin to understand, you know, when we were growing up,
right,
it was just like a textbook. Like you either had to go take it in school or you had to read some very dry book about it. And it made investing seem very scary. But thanks to the internet, thanks to people like you,
exactly,
you know, you're making it fun and enjoyable and you're breaking it down. People get to hang out with you and learn together.
And besides like teaching personal finance on all these finance terminologies, we also invite like key KOLs, like industry experts onto our show, like including like the chairman of Momo, the largest e-commerce platforms in Taiwan. I'm sure everyone knows the company, right, in Taiwan. And there's also like the CEO from ASUS. We also invited the chairman of TAISE, that's the Taiwanese Institute for Sustainable Energy. That's like a really hot topic right now, the green energy, ESG. That's the huge thing. And all the companies are actually going into this, doing like a lot of ESG projects. Yeah, so like we invited the chairman to our show and talk about the latest trends and how companies can become a better like models in the ESG field. And then we also invited like the Supreme Court Justice in Taiwan.
What an incredible show.
Right? I mean, I feel like this is like a self-learning and then like helping people to learn process. And then so like the Supreme Court Justice, he came to our show to talk about some of the trading practices that may like potentially violate security laws and what people should look for and try not to touch those areas. And some of the court cases that he went through that were interesting on securities investing, and that was like very interesting for me.
It's so cool. And I'm sure your audience loves to listen to you talk about this because you have the high level knowledge to speak with them about this.
Right.
But you can help your audience maybe break it down too and help them understand. And so it's so cool, and I love what you're doing with that. What do you think is the future though for Frances in Taiwan with your show, with your real work in a tech company now? What do you think is the future?
Yeah, so like I'm sort of like multitasking at the same time.
Yes.
Still doing investment, although this is not really a good time of the year to do investment right now. But yeah, I'm continuing to do that and then build up my knowledge base and what I'm doing. So I'm in the supply chain and trying to understand managing suppliers and doing like cost negotiations. Like these are all like very good for my, I guess, like future passion. But then from the show, like I definitely think that it's not just learning on the topic of knowledge every time when I'm running the show. It's also learning about their life journey and what their perspective is on life. And then when I start talking to them, I can echo to some of their experiences. Like, for example, like some financial analysts will come onto the show and told us about like how they lost a fortune very early in their life and then lost everything, went into bankruptcy, and then how they recovered and then stood up again and then become wealthy again. So these are like very, very like I think insightful and meaningful sharing. So every time after the show, besides like the knowledge base, it really helps me to put on a different perspective on my life as well. I mean, like makes me think about I can echo to the experience. Maybe I have some similar experiences with them. Not just me, maybe my audience. And then we would start think about what are the most important things in life, like the key questions in life, like what do we want to do in the future? What's the most important to you? Start thinking about this. I think that's the most valuable thing. One of the most valuable things that I can get from the show.
I love that, Frances. Thinking about if something bad happens, how do you pick yourself back up? How do you think about what matters? And I love that that's something you care about. That's really beautiful.
访谈上半段一开始，这边来宾提到他从伯克莱大学毕业，然后又拿到了纽约大学和杜克大学的金融硕士之后呢，就开始在纽约的花旗上班，负责股票研究的部分。好，有没有听起来感觉就很猛？毕业第一份工作就这样子在大城市的大企业上班。那结束那边的工作回来台湾之后，一开始也是持续待在金融业发展这个 VC 创投的这个相关事业。好，大家有没有记得之前我们讲 VC 是什么？对，就是 Venture Capital， 就是创业投资吧哈。那现在呢，则是他转战科技市场，在一间科技公司服务，专门负责供应链的部分。而且特别的是呢，他和伙伴还有经营一个专门分享海内外最新财经情报和理财资讯的音频节目，好，教你怎么投资美股等等。因为毕竟大部分的美国股票投资资讯都是英文呈现嘛，如果是新手或是对英文比较不熟悉的朋友，可能就比较不那么容易一点。加上来宾他因为本身也从过去工作中累积了不少股市相关经验，而且还是从内部研究员角度切入的经验，所以当初才会决定来做一个这样子的节目，跟台湾的社会大众呢分享一些内行人投资的小撇步。重点是他们还有做专业术语的翻译哦，让听众朋友们不但可以学怎么投资美股，还能一边把重要的单字学起来。当然除了美股，他们也有邀请我们台湾当地的一些企业大佬到节目上做分享，甚至曾经担任过台湾最高法院的法官也有上过他们节目分享一些可能会违法的买卖交易。大家如果有兴趣的话呢，等一下可以去搜寻他们频道财经小姐姐，只是现在好像已经没有再更新了，我不确定啦，大家有兴趣的话可以去研究一下。好，这边几个字我们听一下， supply chain。 好，这年头物价暴涨，原因呢就是疫情风波不断，对供应链造成了很大的影响嘛，对不对？那这个供应链呢就是我们讲的 supply chain。 那 cutting edge 它有前卫的意思，例如某个服饰品牌的这个设计很前卫，有没有？或者是可能很先进的这个科技技术，我们就可以说 cutting edge design， 或者是这个 cutting edge technology。有时候你可能会听到也有人说用 bleeding edge 来表示，那意思其实差不多都有领先、前卫、很前端的意思。OK， cutting edge 还有这个 bleeding edge。另外刚才浩恩也有提到一个字 everyday person。everyday person， 有没有两个很简单的字 everyday 跟 person 我们都知道是什么意思嘛，对不对？但是当它两个放在一起的时候，要注意这边的 everyday 跟你讲的每天不太有关系而是在表达日常普通的意思。所以这个 everyday person 我们可以理解成是一般人，就是一般市井小民这样子。OK， 另外一个小提醒是 everyday 这个字要把它分开写才有每天的意思这时候就会当成是副词来用。好，我每天都喝咖啡 I drink coffee every day。好 every 跟这个 day 是分开的，写在一起的话呢，就会变成今天我们讲的这个日常的普通的意思。好，那我们赶快继续听下半段吧。
I love what you're doing. There's so many. We could talk for days.
Exactly.
But
We could talk for hours.
We could talk for hours. But I know everyone is curious more about your own personal life with English and the US and Mandarin. And where do we even begin? How about when did your English language journey begin?
My English journey. It actually began like really early in life, actually in elementary school. I had a tutor back in elementary school. So he used to work for the United Nations. So it was a very interesting learning experience for me. He actually, I guess like do like picture drawings instead of like English letters, because I was like young at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's like a very smart way of,
visual,
right?
That,
visual to look at the pictures and then use that to speak in English, right? So I started to have that experience, and then after moving to the States when I was 13, I think, so junior high school, moved to Newport Beach. So as you know, that area is like all Caucasian, right? That's where
all me.
Yeah,
there's a lot of white people.
yeah. All John, a lot of Johns. Like Kobe Bryant, I think he used to live there. Yeah. So I think I was sort of like threw into the swimming pool without knowing how to swim. I think that's the quickest way to learn. So the school I went to Corona Del Mar, so it's like a private.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
I played lacrosse against them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So basically, they had no ESL programs at all. So like, I didn't know how to speak English. I mean, I had like basics, like learning through the tutor, but like I didn't really like talk to people or like peers in English because I was at the time I was in Taiwan, right? So like sort of like I actually had to like push myself like just to like I mean like I remember like I made like these cards like 100 vocabularies a day and just started like memorizing these vocabularies for like a month. Yeah.
When you were
actually,
already
not just a month, probably 2-3 months. Yeah.
Wow, that's so great. And just did you force yourself, or was that your parents?
Like I think it was my parents, and also like throughout my career at Citigroup, right? So every year Citigroup will host like a very huge conference, City Healthcare Conference. So I was like sort of forced by my boss to be the host of that conference, right? Ooh. So yeah, so a lot of times like these things are forced on me. But then as I grew older, I think my mindset had started to change as well. Like I would be like more proactive, like instead of like people pushing me to do these stuff. I think I still do the same thing. I force myself, but it's coming from myself. Like I want to be better. So like I do this podcast. I like host some I guess like financial forums. I try to like speak up. I try to like speak up, right? If I can. I used to be like super shy back in elementary school. Like I would blush talking to people. just couldn't raise my voice. Yeah, so that really changed a lot.
That's so beautiful. And so thinking then, throughout your career, what helped you kind of learn along the way? It could be learn your languages, learn financial terminology. What helped you?
I think to learn language more efficiently, there are some, some key points. For example, you have to not be afraid of speaking. Just learn to speak whenever you can, and try to maybe engage yourself or make friends with native speakers, and then be comfortable in the environment. And I think you have to know that it's not about whether or not you're native and whether or not your English has accent or not. It's mostly about communicating your feelings and your thoughts to the other person, and it's being how sincere you are, right?
Yes.
So that's what matters the most. So just don't be afraid and think about, oh my gosh, my grammar is wrong, my pronunciation is wrong. It's not really the point. As long as you can just communicate and be on the same frequency with your audience, that's the most that's the most that matters.
I love that. Yeah, being sincere, right?
Right.
Just not sure if your grammar is correct or if your pronunciation is correct, but knowing that you are trying to get to know that person, they will feel that. They and really will.
Right, and also you can combine your interests, your hobbies, into language learning. For example, if you like watching movies and just pick an English language movie to watch, or if you like cooking, just pick a recipe in English and just try to follow the cooking steps in English, right? And then there's just so many different ways to learn. If you love to sing, just pick an English song every day and sing at night, or go to a karaoke with your friends. So these are all very helpful ways to learn English. And then the COVID quarantine policy is going to be lifted soon, I'm sure, in Taiwan, hopefully. And then you can start to make travel plans. That's also one good way to learn English, right? So if you go to another foreign country, you have to ask where to go. You're forced to talk to a stranger. So yeah, I'm sure we're all ready for that.
Yes, no doubt. Awesome, Frances. Well, thank you for joining us today on NG Ingwen. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait to see more of your show and your life and your golf and your sommelier life. However, the question I love to end with is, if you could go back and talk to a younger Frances, would there be any advice you give yourself about language, life, finance, anything?
Yeah, so I would tell the younger Frances, buy lots of Tesla and Facebook stocks.
Oh my God.
No, this is just
amazing.
Yeah, this is the
Yes.
No, the real answer to this, I would say that just don't be too serious about your life. I mean, just chill, because there's no right or wrong decisions that you make. Every decision that you make is the right decision, as long as you try your best and there's no regrets. That's all. That's all that matters. And I do believe it's the journey, what you're going through, that's the most important instead of the end goal. So just take life as enjoyable, and then just try to enjoy it, have fun with it. And then also I think the question that I would ask myself is, if I meet an older Frances today, what would she say to me right now?
Ooh.
And then if she says the same thing that I'm saying to me right now, I'll definitely start acting on them.
I love that. No one's ever flipped it to the older Frances. I love that. I love your mind. Beautiful advice. There's no right or wrong. This is all, just a learning experience.
Right,
and so
exactly.
I love that. Well said. Well, Frances, where can people find your show? Where can they find maybe you on social media?
So you can find me on my show Miss Finance on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify. And then my Instagram account, Frances Chen, FRANCESCHEN 1118. My birthday is November 18th.
Oh, yeah. I'm the 20th. Awesome.
Oh, okay. Oh, my gosh.
November babies.
Yes.
Very,
cool.
Very cool. Does that mean you're a Scorpio?
Yes, I am.
Yes, that's right.
So you're a Scorpio, too.
This makes sense now. This makes sense. All right, Frances. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, John, for having me.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
下半段这边来宾提到他小学上英文课的时候，很幸运家里给他请到一位曾经在联合国工作过的英文家教，而且呢常常都会透过画画代替字母的方式来引导他，帮我们来宾就打下了很扎实的英文基础。因为你知道就是毕竟就是如果你是偏视觉系的学生的话，那学习过程中如果加入视觉辅助，那就会对整个学习效果会有很大的帮助，很能够帮你加深印象。但因为毕竟人还是在台湾，我们整个大环境讲的还是中文嘛，对不对？所以虽然说学得不错，但后来13岁移民到南加州之后，在学校也是不太能够跟人家沟通，之后自己就是做字卡，有没有背单字，慢慢学讲英文，融入社会。那当然从这种小时候被丢到陌生环境中，被强迫去学习，然后长大之后在公司被主管强迫要主持大型会议的，从这样子这个经验中呢，也是让我们来宾学会调试自己的心态，就觉得说与其被别人逼迫做某事，不如就是想成是因为想要变得更好，所以要求自己做一些不同的事情，是自己想要去做的这些改变，主动去展开行动这样子。例如像他录制音频节目啦，或是写这个财经专栏等等。最后的部分他呼吁大家，我们就是学语言呢就是要沟通用的嘛，对不对？就是要表达自己的想法，所以只要能够真诚的把自己的想法表达出去，哪怕是你文法错还是发音不对，真的都没有关系。我们真的就是不要去怕犯错，就多练习嘛，多跟母语人士练习，然后多让自己去习惯那个英文环境，有开口说就会有进步。另外一点他提到我觉得也是非常特别的是，他说会想知道未来的自己呢会给现在的自己什么一些建议，如果跟他目前在面对的目前在思考的是一样的话呢，哇，那二话不说马上去采取行动，马上改。这是不是有点蛮特别的齁？他应该是我们节目开播以来现在第一个把这样的想法提出来的人。我们之前都是想跟以前的自己说话，都没有想到其实也可以跟未来的自己对话。来，节目结束之前我们先来听一个字 proactive。 好，这个什么意思嘞？不清楚的听众朋友，你先把它拆成2部分来看。 Pro 它有提前预先的意思，那 active 它本身就有主动积极的意思嘛，对不对？所以再加上字首预先主动积极，就变成它有一种先发制人采取行动的那种积极，就是会让公司主管很爱你，帮你升官发财，不是发财，帮你升官加薪的那种主动积极。好， proactive。 另外还有一个是上半段的，我们这边补充一下，前面来宾提到公司企业现在都很讲究永续发展那部分的时候，有提到这个 ESG， 对不对？这 ESG 其实是3个英文单字的缩写，它分别是环境保护， E for environment， 那 S 的话 ESG 的 S 就是指 social， 就是我们讲的这个社会责任，那最后这个 G 就是 governance， 公司治理。 OK， 再次ESG environment social and governance。 好，那有兴趣的话大家可以上网去搜寻一下它的相关资料哦。好啦，那希望大家一样也有从今天的内容学到一些东西。好，待会有兴趣的话呢，赶快去听听看他们财经小姐姐的节目吧。
Alright, well that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG, NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7, and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.
好啦，今天的节目就到这边告一段落啦，感谢各位的收听，别忘了订阅我们的 Spotify 还有 YouTube 频道哦。那喜欢我们节目的话，也要记得到 Instagram 到 IG 上追踪我们哦。如果各位有什么其他问题是想要问来宾的，也请欢迎在底下留言告诉我们，我们一定会想办法帮你问到手。好啦，那就下周在空中相会咯，拜拜。